Well, the monsoon is coming. You know it is, right? So now is the time to prepare. And did you know that you can do a lot to prevent stormwater pollution? Did you even know that you should be paying attention to that? Well, guess what? You should. And here is why. Here's who's going to explain. Derek Castaneda, he is with the city of El Mirage. Thank you for being here, Derek. And we have Ian Day, who is with the city of Phoenix. Thanks, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Derek, I want to start with you. First of all, what do you mean by stormwater pollution? What is that?
Well, when it rains, the rain will hit the ground, and one of two things will happen. Either it'll soak into the ground or it'll run off, and we're worried about what's in that runoff.
Oh, why should we be worried about that?
So stormwater is collected in catch basins and curb cutouts in the street, and not a lot of people know this, but those catch basins and curb cutouts lead directly to lakes, rivers, streams, and washes, not to your local water treatment plant.
Okay, so when you talk about, define pollution, what do you consider pollution to be?
Pollution is anything that is not basically natural, which is basically just the rain. So that means anything, whether it's fertilizer or oil or dog poop.
Did you say dog poop?
Yes.
You consider dog poop pollution?
Yes. So
really? Why?
Although dog droppings are a natural product, the environment that we live in is not. We live in a city with curb cuts and with streets that collect water, and when dog waste gets into that water, the bacteria in that waste can live in that water for hours, days, sometimes even weeks.
Wow. You know what? I bet you everybody staying at home is going, you know what? Never thought about that, right? I mean, there is a reason. It's not just to keep neighborhoods beautiful to pick up your dog poop, but it causes issues, pollution, right? Okay, so obviously picking up your dog poop is one way to, keep this problem from happening. But, I'm looking at a lot of these cleaners and fertilizers and things like that. We're already putting them, in the ground. We're already putting them down the drain. Isn't it already getting polluted?
Well, like for example, like the fertilizers, lawn care, they have directions on the back.
Okay.
So we want to remind people, read those directions. They're there for a reason.
Okay.
Adding more doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting a better grass, greener grass or anything.
Okay.
Usually, if you put too much, it'll just run off, and that's what we're worried about.
I see. Okay. And what about the household cleaners and things like that? Because Ian, they are already going down the drain.
Yes, and the drains in your sink and in your bathroom and in the other sewer fixtures in your house all lead to a treatment plant where that water gets looked at very carefully. It gets scrubbed down, cleaned up, and filtered. When these products are applied outdoors or when they are allowed to mix with rainwater, that water is not treated. That water goes directly into the lakes, rivers, streams, and there isn't an interception system to stop that from happening.
Okay.
So it's extra important to ensure that we don't have pollutants left outside, like household chemicals.
What do you want people to do?
We just basically want people to think about, what they're using in their products. Everything you put on the ground could run off in the next storm.
Okay.
So we want to make people aware, especially with monsoons coming, that where they're storing their items.
And every one of these containers has, or most of them you said, have instructions for proper disposal. What I found interesting is that you're with Phoenix, you're with El Mirage. Each city has their own way of disposing. How do we find out what our city does?
So, like for example, El Mirage, we do appointment based. So they'll contact the city. We'll schedule an appointment. We'll go get their hazardous waste.
Oh, okay.
City of Phoenix does a little bit different.
What do you do?
We actually have scheduled events held in our public parks where the community shows up and everybody brings their household hazardous waste. You remain in your vehicle and personnel unload all of the materials for you. You don't even have to get out of your car.
All right, well, here's what I learned today. Read the directions, proper disposal, and pick up your dog poop. Right?
Exactly.
I got an A. All right. For more information about preventing storm water pollution, just visit the website azstorm.org. You can also follow them on Facebook. It's @Stormwater Outreach.